lot of time and effort have gone into getting this game on here at Stair Park tonight, including the arrival of state-of-the-art temporary floodlighting to enhance what they usually have got here at Stranraer. We've got the tie that epitomises the third round of the Tennent Scottish Cup. There were less than 600 here to see Stranraer reach this stage, but tonight Stair Park will house nearly 10 times that many for second division Stranraer against Premier League leaders Celtic. Now it really is what the Cup is all about. A tight ground, a full house, and the potential for a huge Cup shock. It's a far cry from Celtic Park with its 60,000 capacity. But this is where Celtic's Cup run will begin, where one wonders, will it end? Well, think of Scottish Cup shocks and you obviously think of Berwick Rangers in 1967, beating Rangers by 1-0. The magnitude of that result was topped in the eyes of many last season by Inverness Caledonian Thistle's defeat of Celtic. So can Stranraer add their name to the list of minnows who've put one of the old firm to the sword? Charlie Nicholas is with me here at Stair Park. You have fond memories of this place, I believe. You played here, what, when you were 16?
16, I played a friendly game here for Celtic Setting String, and it really surprised me, even when I was a young man, how tight this pitch really is. You know, I always thought in the Premier League and Motherwell was tight. This is really tight tonight. This will be a big surprise for Celtic, who like playing with wide men. And Celtic then had to change their game, presumably. Will the Celtic tonight have to change their game? No, I don't think they will. I think Martin does prefer to play with two wide men. Agatha and Petter, I think, will play tonight. David Provan will bring his formation later on, but I think Celtic will go with a normal formation. It's been a winning formation so far for Martin and his players, and I don't see why he should change it. Stranraer, on the other hand, under Billy McLaren, will look at every opportunity in the Celtic half to throw the ball in diagonal, short. They'll be throwing it in every time and try and upset Celtic tonight. Back when you were 16, was it a big win for you that day? Yeah, it was actually. I think I bagged a 4 or 5 that day. That was the days when I used to score goals and could run.
You can still run, to be fair to you.
Only when I'm going away from you, that's it.
Well, Charlie, so let's get the team news now. It's Stranraer against Celtic.
Well, Stranraer were founded in 1870, which makes the club 18 years older than Celtic. Celtic are, of course, well used to the big stage, but for Stranraer, this is their biggest night of all time.
In sharp contrast to tonight's Sky Sports live event, a crowd of just 595 watched Stranraer overcome Dumbarton in the Tennent Scottish Cup second round here at Stair Park.
Stranraer.
Then the Division 2 side won the lottery.
Celtic.
Within hours of the draw, every hotel room in the Irish ferry port had been booked up for this weekend. Cup fever had arrived in the southwest of Scotland.
It was unbelievable when it came through that day, Stranraer versus Celtic. There's a tremendous feeling that I got that the chance to play such a big club. I was quite happy with the home draw. We knew that we would get a full capacity crowd, and that was going to be a lot of money as well. And it also was helping the town area with all the shops and what have you to get a better revenue too.
Work to bring this tidy little ground up to big match standards has seen gantries built for Sky Sports cameras. Fencing has been improved, along with floodlighting. There was no need to build up confidence amongst local fans.
Well, I hope not to concede any goals to them. I mean, Inverness conceded a goal, so hopefully we'll keep the score down.
I would hope we would win here, but the replay would be all right.
It'll be hard. We'll be there rooting for them.
Well, Stranraer's got a couple of good strikers. They're maybe not very big, but they can go.
Only 2 of Stranraer's players live near the ground. Most are based some 80 miles north in Glasgow, where the part-timers hold their twice-weekly training sessions.
Take it as any hard game, that's what we've been told to do. The manager's been speaking to us about it, just to do what we can, perform as we can. And as we said, we're speaking about it, and we're not just there to make up the numbers, we're there to try and cause an upset, hopefully, and any sort of result for us is a bonus.
But you're a lucky boy to be playing this game, aren't you?
Well, I got sent off actually in the last round of the Scottish Cup, and I automatically thought that I was suspended and I couldn't play. And then as I was speaking to, I think the chairman was speaking to the last week, and he was telling us that because it was violent conduct, had it been for anything else I wouldn't have been able to play, but because it was for violent conduct I'm okay to play against Celtic.
36-year-old Keith Knox is now in his second spell at Stair Park. Knox always delivers the goods for Stranraer. Well, he is the local postman.
It's been unbelievable. The last couple of days walking about, trying to get around my deliveries has been unbelievable. The boss has been getting on my butt because I've been in late off my deliveries. Everybody's interested in the game, everybody's trying to get tickets. So it's going to be a good day for them, and I'm glad to see they've kept the game here, especially for them, the people that come out and support you every week.
Striker Derek Ray is keen to impress. His brother Alex Ray of Sunderland will be watching.
I'm looking forward to it very much. It's a big opportunity for the boys to prove ourselves on a big stage like that. And the last couple of weeks, a lot of phone calls for tickets, and it can't come quick enough, basically.
I noticed looking at your name on the team sheet, your middle name is Purlane, Derek Purlane Ray, named after the Rangers player. So does that tell us that there's no doubt that you're a Rangers fan through and through?
Yeah, since an early age, we've always been. I played with the boys' club at under 10 level and up to under 16. You could say that, that's right, yeah.
And I noticed your brother, Alec, at Sunderland is also named after a Rangers player.
That's right, Alex Scott. That's Alex Scott Ray. It just shows you that my dad was Rangers daft.
Now, Alec is playing the best football of his career down at the Stadium of the Lights. Tipped for a Scotland place very soon. What about you? Is this the form of your career at the moment, or is this the biggest match of your career?
But by far. Should be a full house against Celtic. I'm looking forward to it very much. I played at a bigger crowd at Glasgow Cup final with Rangers, which was 10,000 there. In terms of like first team football, this is the biggest.
Derek Ray there speaking to David Tanner. Derek, on the bench tonight for Stranraer is Stranraer. He knows him, Billy McLaren, the manager of Stranraer. Let's hear from him now. He's with David Tanner.
Billy, I guess this is the biggest night ever at Stair Park. How have the players reacted to the build-up to this game?
Well, of course, they've reacted with great anticipation to the game. It's very exciting for the town, exciting as you can see around the place. It's busy, it's a hive of activity. We're not normally used to that.
Did the players sleep well last night?
I'm sure they did. They certainly went early to bed and had a long lie this morning, so I don't think there's any problems there at all.
What about your chances in this game? I guess a year ago, if I'd said to you, you might have a chance, we'd have been sniggering, and then Inverness, of course, managed to get that historic victory at Celtic Park. So what chance do you give yourself?
Well, we must have a fair chance, surely more than a fair chance. We have the history of Inverness fairly recently, beating Celtic, and it's our own patch. It's a tighter surface than they're used to, so all these things will contribute to a very possible upset.
How will you play this game?
I wish I could take the clock back and actually play the game, but that's not the case. We'll set out to match Celtic in the formation they play, and try not to be too deep, nor to be too high up the park. Middle ground, I guess.
Can you predict how Celtic will play? I mean, do you feel as though they'll have to change the formation because of the nature of the field here?
I don't know that they'll change the formation to begin with. That would be surprising, given all the reports we've had. And it may be that they may change the emphasis of the game. As far as the formation is concerned, that'll be interesting to see. I don't expect so.
Is it going to be a bruising encounter, would you suggest?
Well, I don't think we can afford to sit back and watch pretty patterns in front of us. And if that's the interpretation towards bruising, then we have to be able to compete. And I'll be very, very disappointed and surprised if we don't compete.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Absolutely interesting.
Billy, thanks.
Thanks indeed.
Absolutely interesting. Well, let's concentrate on Celtic now. And of course, Martin O'Neill has just come back from Florida with his players, where they had their mid-season break. And Charlie, as we know, O'Neill bases his game plan a great deal on width. So I wonder how will Peta and Agat, who both played from the start tonight, how they cope with Stair Park, where there is not a great deal of width.
I don't think it's such a problem for him. I think the real problem for them is they get the service. And I think Peta in particular, you know, Agat has got blinding pace, but I think Bobby Peta, you know, gives him that lovely balance with that natural left foot. And I think when you get the opportunity, I mean, Celtic Park's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
He's got so much space to move. He's got players like Larson and Sutton up front who create so much movement. They're so mobile that creates a lot of the space for him. And I think he's had a decent first half of the season. He's come back from his criticism that he's had before at Celtic, and I think he's been very positive so far. But it's like everything, you know, they need the service. And of course, more than that tonight, Larson and Sutton are vital. They've got to survive all people like Peta and Agat. But although it'll be different for him tonight in terms of there's lack of space, in terms of you've got to work harder to get on the ball, you've got to have more of an appetite to go and get it. You're easier marked. You get time like that, well, that's wonderful, thanks very much.
But not tonight.
Not tonight, you won't get that. I wouldn't expect it. If he gets that tonight, Billy McLaren will let his players know. You can believe it on that one. But Agath, I think he's different because he's more direct. Bobby Petty likes to go over the ball a little bit, do a trick. Agath has got nice tight control, but I think it's more about the blistering pace. I mean, this is him playing up front through the middle for Hibs.
Yeah.
And you have to say against Dundee, awful defending, but quality that he stays on his feet. I think he's done very well at Celtic, been a clever buy, and I think he does prefer to play centre-forward position, but the direct route that he tends to take, and of course the blistering pace. His final ball is not always the best, but when you get space like this, and you have that pace, you can make things happen.
So Charlie, if you're Billy McLaren tonight, you're saying to your Stranraer players, regards Peta and Agath, shut these guys down, don't give them an inch.
Well, the problem that he faces is that they can go tight to him, but they have got decent pace, especially Agath, that they can knock in behind them. There is a bit of space in behind. I think that's the way Celtic will play tonight. I'll mainly go from back to front as quickly as they can.
Okay. We're at Stair Park, Stranraer. It's the third round of the Tennent Scottish Cup. It is the David against Goliath encounter. It's Stranraer against Celtic. Now, there's not a lot of history between Stranraer and Celtic. They've met only 4 times, and Celtic have won all 4. The first of 2 Scottish Cup meetings was back in 1966. Celtic scorers that day, remember them? Charlie Gallagher, Bobby Murdoch, Joe McBride and Bobby Lennox. Last time out, it was much tighter. January 1988, Celtic won by a Frank McAvenny goal to 0. Now, Stranraer's Keith Knox played in that game in 1988. He was actually off the field receiving treatment when Macca scored, so he wants revenge at Stair Park tonight. And Charlie, you know Knox well, don't you?
I know the postman, yeah, he's a local postman round about here. One of the fittest guys I've ever played with, actually, and that was me finishing my career, but gives everything. Great engine, his Knoxy. He actually missed a sitter. We were beating Rangers 1-0 in the live Sky game about 4 years ago, and he could have made it 2-0. We were the biggest scalp ever in Clyde's history, and he knocked it by the post, and later on I had to dig at him. I says, I can't believe it, you were time to be a national hero, and he showed me his Rangers tattoo after
it. Lovely. Good old Knoxy. Well, Celtic, of course, they do not want any slip-ups here at Stair Park tonight. They want to win and go into the draw later for the 4th round. Let's hear from Martin O'Neill. He's with David Tanner.
Martin, have you had a look at the pitch and are you happy?
Oh, happy with the pitch, yeah. It's soft and there's plenty of grass on it, so absolutely no problems in that score at all.
Stranraer are making a lot about the fact that their pitch is so tight. Will that make you alter your game plan in any way?
Well, we haven't. We're still going with the 2 wide players, Didier Agath and Bobby Peta. But even so, it reduces the width of the pitch. But even so, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's there. It's a decent cup tie. There'll be a great atmosphere, all to play for.
There was speculation that Paul Lambert might start, that Johan Mjällby might play after a jab. Why are they on the bench tonight, not on from the beginning?
Well, I think that's it's in terms of fitness as much as anything else. Paul's recovering more rapidly than I thought. He's doing very well indeed, and Johan has done very little in the last 8 or 10 days. But I'd like to have them on the bench anyway, just in case anything might happen. And you know, their experience, all sorts of things might come into place at some stage or another.
Have you been unnerved by the build-up to this game? So much talk about the remarkable...
This evening, I genuinely don't think it will. I hope it will not be because of attitude rather than anything else that is our undoing, if that's the case.
By all accounts, Rangers were a bit slow to get off the mark yesterday. Are you happy that you won't have any post-winter shutdown cobwebs around the place?
I don't think you really know until you actually get started, and I think it might take 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. By that time, I hope we're still well in the game. But no, what other teams do, or how lively, or how I suppose how they don't start the games is entirely up to them. We're hoping that we can come out of the blocks relatively quickly. I mean, we were doing brilliantly before the break. It is a shame in many aspects, but even so, it was there for us. It's there for all the teams. It's up to us now to start again.
Have you managed to recreate the buzz which was around Celtic Park at the end of the first part of the season for the restart? What must be the most vital part of the season, I would guess?
I think you're right. I think it is the most vital part. This next couple of weeks is absolutely vital for us. We start tonight, and I hope we can continue in the same vein.
And the Stranraer people would be happy with a replay, would you?
I'd happy still to be in the hat for the next round, to be perfectly honest, but I'm hoping that we can win first time of Ascii.
Always a diplomat. Martin, thank you very much.
Pleasure, thank you.
Well, the atmosphere is building here at Stair Park, and some of these Celtic supporters have put their shirts literally on Martin O'Neill getting a victory tonight. But of course, Charlie, it's a big day for the local support here at Stranraer. Yeah. This is their cup final, and they're out in numbers tonight, hoping the boys in blue can get a result against Celtic.
I don't think their team will let them down. I think their players will have a go tonight. But to see people like Sutton and Larson perform, they don't often get that opportunity. They're delighted to see that. They want a good game tonight, and I think we're going to get it. As long as Stranraer can give us a good, energetic first 45 minutes, and Celtic don't score too early, then I think we'll get a decent cup tie tonight.
So, Charlie, give me your honest view. How will it work out tonight? Is it a romp for Celtic, or will Stranraer give them good resistance early on?
I think early on, we'll get a decent resistance from Stranraer. We'll see the battling qualities will be there. But I think the quality is there for Celtic. They're a strong side, so a Celtic win for me.
Oh, it's set up perfectly, isn't it? It's Stranraer against Celtic. Let's join Davy Provan, and first, Ian Crocker.
Thank you, Jim. Well, tiny Stair Park is ready for a classic cup tie. The part-timers of Stranraer against the giants of Celtic, who shouldn't have a problem, should they? That's what they thought last year against Inverness Cally Thistle. A teacher, student, postman, taxi driver, bike shop owner, a chance for them all to be famous for 90 minutes at least, maybe forever. The manager, tax inspector Billy McLaren, has steered his side into second place in the second division. Goalkeeper Mark McGeown was on Celtic's books as a kid. Several of the team are Celtic fans. Whatever happens, the men of Stranraer FC are about to have the night of their lives.
Yeah, they certainly are, Ian. What Billy McLaren has done tonight, he's gone with the back three, 5 across the middle effectively. He's just going to match up with Celtic in every area of the pitch there, with Dougie Johnson spare between the two markers, Wright and Knox. Absolutely vital, I think, that Blair and Hodge in the two wide areas close the area down in terms of getting it in about Agat and Bobby Pettir. There's not going to be much room down the channels or in the central area. Celtic, I think, will try and get out, down the outside of either side, try to hit the byline. Hodge and Blair can do Stranraer a real turn if they get tight in them. Alan Jenkins will play between middle and front, and I just wonder whether Billy McLaren may push him right onto Neil Lennon tonight. So much of what Celtic build these days goes through Neil Lennon. I just wonder if Jenkins will go all the way tight on him.
Well, incredibly, only one of this Celtic starting lineup began on that ill-fated night against Inverness Cally Thistle a year ago. That was Tom Boyd. He's preferred to Johan Mjällby, who's suffering from a groin problem. Mjällby is on the bench, though, along with Paul Lambert, who's been out for nearly 3 months after an ankle operation. Stilian Petrov is on international duty with Bulgaria.
Yeah, Johan Mjällby sits this one out here, and it means that Tom Boyd will come in tonight. Tom will play spare, which means that Ramon Vega, who has been playing spare for Celtic, will have to pick up on the right-hand side, as will Jos Vilharen on the other side. Agat and Pettir, as I said, absolutely vital to Celtic tonight. I don't think they'll fancy this pitch. It's so narrow out there, there's not going to be a lot of room, but they're going to have to try and hit the byline at every opportunity. I'm not really surprised that Jackie McNamara has come in tonight. He gets the nod instead of Lubomir Moravcik, and I think this is the kind of night where, particularly in that area, Celtic are going to require players to put their foot in.
Two clubs united by football but divided by status. They really are worlds apart, yet they've been brought together for a Scottish Cup contest that really does sum up what this famous competition is all about. It's Stranraer second in the second division against Celtic, runaway leaders of the Scottish Premier League. Well, there are a few Celtic fans in the Stranraer team. Indeed, Paul Walker watched the third round draw sitting at home in his Celtic shirt, and agonisingly he thought he'd be banned, having been sent off in the last round, but he was able to serve that suspension in the league. Keeper Mark McGeown was a Youth Cup winner with Celtic 14 years ago, so it's an extra special night for him. And all he's got to do is keep out Henrik Larsson. Mind you, the Super Swede has only scored 32 goals this season. He is, in fact, the only man in the 16 on duty tonight who's managed to score a Scottish Cup goal for Celtic. The man in charge is Stuart Dougal. Stair Park has a capacity of 5,500. They normally get around 600 here, but one or two more have turned up tonight. A classic clash between the minnows and the mighty. The people of Stranraer would have had dreams about tonight. Those of a Celtic persuasion might have had nightmares. A year ago, Celtic were the victims of one of British football's biggest ever giant killings when Inverness Caledonian Thistle knocked them out of the Scottish Cup, and at Celtic Park too. This, though, is a very different Celtic side under Martin O'Neill. But on nights like this, three little words are often uttered. Those three little words are, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I think what you will see in the first 10-15 minutes, Ian, which I think is going to be vital in this game, Stranraer will try and ask a few questions of Celtic, try and hassle them, make sure they don't have time, make sure they don't have space. Celtic, of course, haven't played a competitive match for a few weeks, and there might be a little bit of rust there. If that is the case, Billy McLaren's lads will try and exploit that.
Marty with an early error, but it's covered for Stranraer by Fraser Wright. Storeroom of a high street electrical retailer. The Stranraer squad holding down jobs and training a couple of nights a week. All bar two of them, in fact, are based in Glasgow, so that's where they train. Ramon Vega's cross and Larsson's header, and a super save from Mark McKeown, because that was very nearly the early goal Stranraer feared.
It's a good ball, and Larsson not marked properly, though, and you have to say that, got plenty on the header. That is a terrific save from Mark McKeown. And typical of this goalkeeper, who at 5'11", perhaps just a bit too short to make it to the very highest level in the game, but reflex-wise, right out the top drawer.
Petter sends it in towards the near post, and Vega was in there and booted it wide of the target.
Well, just to start, Martin O'Neill would have been looking for Ian. Celtic quickly out the blocks, and that really could have finished on the target there.
Martin O'Neill enjoyed a fair bit of cup success with Leicester City in the League Cup in England, winning it twice. He's on course for a treble in Scotland, although he won't like me mentioning that. Doesn't want to talk about it just yet. Most of the Stranraer players are based in Glasgow. They do train there at a rugby club on the south side of the city a couple of nights a week. The services there have been rock hard lately. Not a problem Celtic had during their winter break in Florida. Larsson, Sutton, the front two combining. Here's Neil Lennon, who's played 5 games for Celtic and won them all. That's gone out. It'll be a Stranraer throw. And Leicester have missed him. But the pull of Celtic proved to be too much for the Northern Ireland international. It's come off Didier Agathe, who's playing in only his second Scottish Cup tie. The other one was for Rafe Rovers. Valharan, who really has been an inspirational figure for Celtic this season. Away by Johnston. Now Walker, who's a tidy little player. And Hodge unable to do much with that. Larsson, lovely flick to McNamara, who couldn't quite take it with him. Ramon Vega. Here's Alan Thompson, who was stretchered off in the week in a testimonial at Norwich. Could be Petter, who used to play for Ipswich. Lennon. McNamara. Ramon Vega. It was wasted by the big Swiss defender.
I think it took a bobble in just as he was about to strike the ball there. But I heard Charlie saying earlier that Celtic may choose to get the ball forward quickly tonight, and it may not be a night for the short passing game. It may be a night for playing it from back to front, and Chris Sutton, of course, gives Celtic the option of doing that.
Stranraer spent the night in a nearby hotel. Oh, Douglas's kick out very nearly presented the second division side with a chance then. Cannoned off Walker. Larson. Thompson. Petter making his Scottish Cup debut. He's got the free kick.
I see Keith Knox is round the back here, just giving a little bit of protection there. I don't think Stranraer want to leave players one-on-one with Celtic's two wide boys tonight. Certainly it's a free kick in a decent area for Celtic. Stranraer have no choice but to defend this right on top of Mark McGowan.
It's sent in by Neil Lennon. Ramon Vega's on the end of it, and it lands on the roof of the net. It's not come off Vega though, because it's a corner kick.
Yeah, to be fair to the goalkeeper, I don't think he can come for this. It's whipped into the back post. He's just hoping the lads in front of him can do enough, and they do just enough there to put Vega off the header. Once again, the former Spurs defender got up well there.
Celtic seeking an early goal. Petter's cross. And again, the goalkeeper is confident, really up for this. Having played in Celtic's youth team and won the Youth Cup with them. McNamara. Petter, who stayed over this side, having taken the corner. Larson has given it back to Bobby Petter. Oh, he's brought down, and Stuart Dougal had a big look at that and decided that Sandy Hodges' challenge was not worthy of a penalty. Sutton's cross though. And Stranraer were living dangerously then.
Yeah, certainly wary. My first impression was that it was a penalty. No reason otherwise, I don't think, for Bobby Petter to go down there. Sandy Hodge just caught on the wrong side of Bobby Petter as he goes into the box here. There's not a great deal of contact, but I don't think Petter has any reason at all to go down there.
Jenkins finds his route blocked by Lennon, but will try and take another route. Tom Boyd is covering for Celtic. Keith Knox sliding it back to Mark McGeown. Lennon, completely miskicked it. Hearty chasing, but Ramon Vega slips it back to Robert Douglas. McNamara. Didier Agat. Showing what he's all about. But it was Fraser Wright who stuck with him all the way. Jackie McNamara. Sutton comes to meet it. McNamara has continued running, but here's Agat. Petter. Lennon. Sutton.